far forward.
Mine, yeah.
Yeah, so we got to get that forward head posture back.
What kind of a bend is it you said?
Which requires I'm sorry.
Don't touch anything.
What did you say type of bend it was?
She should have more forward curve here in her neck.
Right.
Okay, and her head is forward way too far. And what this does is this has a flattening effect on the mid back. So you go like this, it creates the mid back to flatten out, and that's what causes the destabilization in this dimension. Okay, so it's that flattening of that thoracic spine that's going to allow it to want to rotate around its own axis. So
if it was curved, it wouldn't spin.
right, because you have more stability.
Right.
So when you lose stability in one dimension, it has to gain it in another. Make sense? So what we're running into is a scenario here where we have to not only get the existing rotation to untwist, okay, but we need to also get this head position fixed so we're not having that flattening that makes it more biomechanically. You know what I'm saying?
So go back to this. What do you see there?
What you're seeing is a real classic kind of rotation pattern here. Now, this is the lower half of the thoracic spine. You see her lumbar spine here looks really stable.
Yeah.
There's no real pelvic unleveling here. So she's...
Is her pelvic?
Yeah, I suppose. I cut it off here because I'm trying to...
But you're saying it's still an S, though, right? It's still
Well, it's a primary
S.
curve with a little bit of a lumbar compensation.
Okay.
But the lumbar compensation looks
I don't see any
biomechanically
S
really,
right
really
now.
strong.
Taylor, please.
So you just look at the bottom half of the S here. Only half the S. Okay? But this is looking really strong in here. We're going to be able to spin that thoracic spine on top of that lumbar without worrying about collapsing it.
Okay, good.
So that's going to be great.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's
that's
good news.
very
So you,
favorable.
do you see
Okay.
when you say 25-degree S curve? What's your diagnosis of what you see right now?
Well, I'm going to draw some measurements. When I draw some
gotcha,
measurements,
gotcha,
I'll,
okay.
I'm not going to spitball it. Okay?
Sure, thank
so
you.
we'll draw some lines here. But no, I mean, everything here looks pretty favorable.
Taylor, look.
The rotation pattern here is a little bit unusual, but we'll draw it up here. We'll have know more about it.
Okay.
It's your face.
Yeah. No, I think we got a good situation here. I think this is biomechanically going to be very favorable.
Great.
And so in terms of what expectations in 5 days, I can't imagine much would happen in 5 days.
You'd be surprised.
Okay.
We're thrilled.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Our average.
We take X-rays?
Oh yeah.
So just because you put it in place temporarily, would just conventional theory would just snap right back, or what?
Yeah, it would. But
Okay.
that's the thing. The whole point of what we're doing is we're not putting it in place. We're stimulating the brain to put it in place. And she's continued to do that over time. The brain will start to learn that as a new normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it isn't a matter of forcing the spine straight. It's a matter of, right now, her brain, and we can do this a little bit more in the chalk
Sure.
talk, it's a little more, but her brain right now wants to line up the center mass of the head over the torso over the center mass of the pelvis. And wants to do that three-dimensionally.
Yeah.
Okay? And what's going on here is, right now, the center mass of her head and torso line up pretty well, but her head and her pelvis line up pretty well. Her torso does not. So she's getting this.
Yeah.
So these two are lining up, this one isn't. And for whatever reason, the alarm bells in her brain are not going off.
Okay.
It doesn't realize that it's not bouncing. So therefore, the brain doesn't send an autocorrection message. So all we're doing with the rehab is we're actually going to throw it off even a little bit more with the rehab so that her brain goes, whoa, I'm out of balance, and then initiates the autocorrection message. So we're just going to artificially supplement in what, for whatever reason, is not going on. Now we have some really, really good biochemistry, neurotransmitter kind of understanding here of why that brain may not be reacting, because we know the message is being sent from the spine.
We did the neurotransmitter test.
Yes.
I don't know when you're going to get it because they.
I got 3 of them in my inbox over the weekend, so
You
it
did?
could be one of those.
No, because they were receiving it tomorrow.
Oh, okay, then it won't be one of those.
Someone asked me if we got a neuromuscular test.
Yeah.
Do we do that?
Neuromuscular test. Why would you need a neuromuscular test?
I don't know. It was a pediatric neurosurgeon who asked me. It was from
Florida Hospital.
Florida Hospital. Asked me if we'd gotten a neuromuscular test.
But why?
I don't
We
know.
don't know.
I don't
We
know.
just
That's
asked.
Okay.
that's why I'm
Well,
asking.
you don't just run tests for sake of running tests. I mean,
Yeah.
if you say, okay, this kid's having XYZ symptom,
Yeah.
okay, we think it's a neuromuscular situation,
Right.
then you don't just run it just for the sake of running a test.
Okay.
Is there any damage to her spine or organs, or what is the worst case scenario of this at age 6 in your experience?
Well, at age 6, we're lungs are fully developed, so we don't have to worry about it. I mean, the worst case scenario in young kids with scoliosis is that it inhibits the lung development, and then that can cause a heart condition called cor pulmonale, which is not good. Okay, once the lungs are fully developed, which by age 6 they are, okay, that's no longer an issue.
So what's worst case scenario, just so we can sleep at night?
Worst case scenario is that we see continued progression, it starts creating some deformity of the spine, rib cage rotation, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
But nothing that
There's nothing life-threatening going on here.
She
Okay.
complains of a stomachache every day, daily. Does that?
May not. I mean, may be related, but most likely isn't.
That's what, yeah.
And but I've heard
Maybe it's just an unrelated type thing.
I've heard that serotonin deficiency can lead to GI issues.
Well, yeah, but so can any number of a million other things.
Okay, all right.
You know, the thing we have to be careful of, in particularly in scoliosis, is what we call spurless correlations. So a spurless correlation example would be in the summertime, it's hot, so the number of ice cream sales increase, and it's hot, more people are swimming, so unfortunately the number of drownings increases.
And ice cream
Does
causes
that,
drowning.
that's because it doesn't mean eating ice cream causes drowning? No. Okay, so we have to be careful with spurless correlations, you know?
Got it.
So there's maybe a common thread in there somewhere, but there
Yeah.
isn't a one-to-one kind of scenario like
All right.
our brains are pre-programmed.